Hi there. So recently we purchased a commercial grinder for ourselves. Because now we have a commercial grinder, I thought, it's important that we do a little comparison, we do a little introduction to grinders. It's basically used to grind beans of some sort, but when it comes to coffee, it is used to grind coffee beans. Now, why do we need to grind coffee beans? Now, coffee, when it comes out of the coffee cherry, it is roasted and then it needs to be ground. A coffee bean by itself cannot be extracted. When we pour water over it, when we pour hot water over it, it does not produce, water cannot get into the coffee beans and extract the coffee out of them. That's why we need to do a bit of grinding. What a coffee grinder does is that it grinds the coffee in such a way that water can extract coffee out of these beans and extract it uniformly. The more uniform the grind is, the more expensive that grinder is going to be, because they've taken a great care to produce a uniform grind. Now, you might ask me, why is a uniform grind important? Now, what happens is that when hot water is introduced to these ground particles, it extracts coffee differently from a larger particle, and it extracts differently from a smaller particle. This is important because the flavor profile that is produced from a finer grind is different to that of a larger, of a coarse ground coffee. It stands to reason that you need to get a uniform grind to get an optimum level of taste out of the coffee beans. That's why you need a proper conical burr grinder or a flat burr grinder to get that uniform extraction out of the coffee beans. And that's why these grinders can be so damn expensive. So here's what I'm proposing. I'm going to brew 2 cups of coffee. One is going to be ground with the Santos Bone Cafe grinder, and the other is going to be ground with our old DeLonghi grinder. We're going to be scientific about it, very accurate about it, and we're going to keep everything the same sort of grind. The idea is to find out that which grinder produces the most even and the most uniform grind. That will determine a clarity in taste, and this will also determine the amount of coffee dust that a grinder produces. Okay, so this coffee is our new commercial Santos grinder, and this is the old DeLonghi grinder. We prepared 2 coffees. I'm keeping the grind almost exactly the same, as much as I could try to make it the same. The grind is very similar. All the ratio, all the things have been kept the same, and we have produced 2 cups of coffee. So the coffee that I'm using Guatemala medium to light roast coffee from theWISEbrew, my own coffee, which is quite perfect for a V60 or a Kalita filter. So the moment of truth. Let's see how these coffees taste. Okay. On first impressions, I feel that the DeLonghi has a bit more body to it, which is also possible because there was a lot of dust in the grind. And frankly speaking, it's a little cruel comparing these two because they belong to 2 ends of the price spectrum. And given the size of the burr, I'm expecting that it will produce a smoother and a more consistent grind, which sort of reflects in the coffee as well. This one has a bit more fruitiness to it, a bit more clarity to it. Honestly speaking, I did not really understand this word clarity until I actually compared 2 grinders next to each other. That's when I realized what clarity meant. I mean, the coffee from the Santos is more focused. It's clear. It's got a narrower shape of taste profile as opposed to this one. The DeLonghi has a bit more body to it. which gives the taste a bit more wider perspective. It's very tasty, I must say. The difference between these two is very little, but this one is fruitier, it's got a zesty feel to it, and this one is a bit more on the lower downside, slightly more, but I would definitely recommend the DeLonghi grinder. It's actually not bad. The burrs are not bad. The grind is obviously not as uniform as the Santos grinder. That's obviously that's naturally a more uniform grinder as opposed to the DeLonghi. But it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So this is my comparison of the two grinders. We finally have a proper grinder now, which can grind as much coffee as we want in the whole day, and it's pretty good. It's like I said, this coffee has more clarity in it, which is what we look for when we do a dial-in. Plus, we can now go very fine. We can do espresso, and this was previously not possible with the DeLonghi. DeLonghi doesn't go as fine as the Santos. So what do you think? I would really love to know your thoughts about it. Have you ever tried a Santos grinder before? This grinder is about 9 years old, but it's still in its tip-top shape. The grind is exquisite. The burrs are top-notch, brand new. Have you tried a grind like this? Have you tried a comparison like this? Have you ever tried comparing two grinders next to each other? And did you see the difference of clarity the way I did? I would love to know your thoughts in the comments below. For now, thank you very much for watching, and I do hope you have a very great day.
So I'm all that stuff. Like good whiskey, like it hot. Like my women, like them lot. But they make a fool of you.